Hey, not like it's the first time. Come on, we need to take her down.
Okay.
In a bind? That frickin' does it!
You all!
Eat dirt! Aim for the weak spot!
Right! Not my finest.
I couldn't make it in time. Dragon Swarm!
Imbue this vanquished
heal you
soul
all.
with life. Resuscitation.
Healing circle!
Not done yet.
Take it!
Elusive
Come on!
Yes, I'll save you.
I'll bring
Ready
you
to
back
go.
from death to
Right.
this. Far enough!
Benediction light.
Resuscitation! One!
Here, I really don't know how to being interrupted.
Not in your dreams! Spread!
Elusive
Dragon Swarm!
Benediction light.
Here no! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Dragon Swarm!
Will this help? Healing
Now
circle!
you see what I can do. I'm grateful.
By the power of water!
Begin. Now or never. No further.
Take this!
Back into everlasting
If it's in the
darkness.
sky,
Negative gate. Another incantation ruin.
Not today!
Don't suffer in silence.
Come on!
Ready to go! Rip it down! Back into the fray!
Dragon Swarm!
Annihilation!
You're mine.
Here goes! Power of water! Not in your dreams!
Benediction light. Heal.
Searing flame! Reload!
Can you
Try
try?
harder!
Will this help?
Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
Water, hear my call! Spread! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning!
Tail's a problem.
Then let's focus there first.
Freeze! Answer!
This should do it!
Pieces. Attack time. Tornado drive. I felt fine not too long ago. Elusive deity.
Back into the water! Hear my
Nothing
call!
gets by me. Tornado
Far
drive.
enough! Hear me! Flame of fury!
Elusive touch.
Burning!
In a bind.
Dragon
Down! Hear my
Dragon
call!
Swarm!
Here goes!
No escape!
Let the marksman handle
Go
this!
away!
Not on my watch! Searing flame! Reload!
Dragon Swarm!
By the power of water! Lightning! Downfall!
Resonate with the earth.
Card!
Stalagmite.
Crumble! Talon Swarm!
By the power of
Dragon Swarm!
Over. Forgive me. I let you all down.
Annihilation!
Dragon Swarm! There!
I'll bring you back from death to this! I can handle it! Far enough! Resuscitation! Radiant here!
Benediction light.
Searing flame! Reload! I'm out of ammo! Back into the fray! Ready! Magna Ray! Not on my watch! Here, let me help!
You picked the wrong fight!
Catapult!
Take this! I'm not done! Dragon Swarm!
Primed and ready! Luna! Where are you going? Water, hear my call! Spread! Glacial spear! Here's evil!
From beyond.
Dragon Swarm!
From beyond. Imbue this vanquished soul with light.
Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Take.
Freeze laser!
In a bind.
This isn't looking good! You're mine!
I can handle it! Far enough! Will this help?
Resonate with the earth.
Dragon Swarm! I owe you one.
Lightning!
I really owe you one.
Here I go! River Drag! Here
Resonate
goes!
with the earth.
It's not in your dreams! Mega Ray! Will this help?
Swallow damage! Dragon Swarm! Here I go!
Anything in order is all mine.
I can only rely.
Here,
Dragon
I
Form!
really owe you. Nothing gets by me.
Hear my call!
Eat this! I'll end you!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil!
Take this!
Freeze Lancer! Arc Seal!
Everlasting
Stream.
darkness!
Searing Flame!
Resonate with the earth.
This helps?
Stalagmite!
Here, let me help! First
I
aid!
really owe you
This
one.
one's all mine!
Thank you!
Stay away from my friends!
Everlasting darkness! Negative gate! Resonate with the earth!
Dragon Form!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Benediction light.
Dragon Swarm! Changing tactics!
There's no telling what it'll do! Stay focused!
Resonate with the earth! I'm on Stalagmite!
Further.
Leave the charges to me!
Far enough! Eagle with a tower! Let the marksman handle this!
Eat this!
Here's a healing arc!
Dragon Form!
Swallow dance!
Here goes!
I'll smash you!
Not on my watch! Reload!
What's this?
Dragon Form! Dragon Form!
It'll die!
Back into
Dragon
the fray!
Form!
Annihilation!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Begin!
Searing Flame! Reload! Radiant Spear!
Dragon Form!
Negative gate!
Resonate with the
This time! You picked the wrong fight!
Here's the evil!
Dragon Form!
Freeze Lancer!
No further! Nothing gets by me! What's this?
Dragon Form!
Begin!
Radiant Spear!
Dragon Form!
Can you take
Take
it?
this!
Tornado blast!
Annihilation! Laser Ray!
Elusive deity!
Dragon Stop!
I'm such a
Here
failure.
goes!
You'll pay for that!
By the power of water!
Elusive deity!
Dragon Swarm!
Mega Ray! Annihilation! Radiant Spear!
Dragon Swarm!
To everlasting darkness!
This
Negative
one's
gate.
all mine! Eat this!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
There!
From beyond, imbue this
Glacial Spear! Here's
From
the evil!
beyond, imbue this
Freeze
vagrant
Lancer.
soul with love. Resuscitation!
I'm ready! Here's a healing
Deny!
First
Resonate
aid!
with the earth!
Dragon
Stalagmite!
Swarm!
Talon storm!
Here I come!
Lunar Corruption!
Away! The earth throbs.
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil! Arc Seal! Freeze Lancer! Not in your dreams!
Begin!
Dragon Swarm!
Not my finest!
Healing Circle!
Try harder!
Everlasting darkness! Negative gate! Resonate with the earth!
I'm out of ammo!
Dragon Swarm!
If it's in the sky, it's mine! I never miss!
Not done yet!
I'm all stuffed up! Annihilation!
Dragon Swarm!
Gemini Aqua!
Benediction light. Leave the chargers to me! Don't suffer in silence.
Not today! Dragon Swarm!
Lunar Blast!
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Dragon Swarm!
Anything in armor is and there goes the tail! What? Let's do this!
Reload!
Next
Deal!
clue!
Not in your dreams!
You're mine!
Here's the evil!
Begin! Now or never. Take this!
Here's the healing arc!
Not today! Dragon Swarm!
Negative gate! Resonate with the earth!
Dragon
Down!
Swarm!
Mega Ray!
You're mine!
Annihilation!
Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Dragon Swarm!
It's over! Mega Ray! I'm ready!
The everlasting dark! Leave the charges to me!
Corruption!
Resonate with the earth!
Lunar Blast!
Dragon Form!
Annihilation! Mega Ray!
Dragon Form!
Elusive deity! I bring
Dragon
you
Form!
Ready!
Now you see what I can do!
Into the
Elusive
shadows!
deity! Big blast!
Lightning! Downfall!
Tectonic hero! Can you take it? You're such a good one.
You picked the wrong fight!
Elusive deity!
Dragon
I'm ready!
Form! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Is everyone all right?
Yeah, but Almeidrea got away. Rinwell, are you...
What the hell happened here?
Bayfon, is that you? Thank goodness you're okay.
I've been outside the city this whole time, but I sensed a disturbance in the wind and decided to turn back. What happened here? Where is everybody?
Almeidrea's handiwork. She allowed herself to be captured so she could rile up the Danans into a frenzy and rob them of their astral energy. She wiped out almost everyone in the plaza, including Deadheim.
Deadheim's dead. Everyone. And the Darkwings. Almost all of our companions in the Resistance. How could this happen?
Regardless of what she had to gain, what kind of person would do something like that?
If she managed to find kinship in Kelzelik, then I'd say the very worst kind. It's clear now that she used Menancia as a testing ground for the fruits of Helgen, before using them here.
So everything that led up to this moment was all a part of her plan.
Once she knew they'd eaten enough tainted food, she just needed to get herself caught.
We have to go after her. Balseth and Ganabel were horrible, but Almeidrea makes them look like saints. I doubt she's really gone back into hiding. We have to put an end to this once and for all.
Yeah, what she's done can't be forgiven.
I don't know what to do. I saw what hatred did to those people, but hating her is the only thing that's kept me going. I can't just stop hating her. What am I supposed to do? Tell me. Smile at her from across the battlefield? Apologize while we fight her? I don't know if I can do that.
Rinwell.
Nobody can understand what you've been through. We can't even begin to imagine the pain you've experienced. But if hate is what has kept you going ever since that day, then let it be your strength. However, think about this. When you've had your revenge, when we've beaten Almeidrea, then what will you do?
Huh?
I'm saying you're going to have to find a way to survive once that hatred is gone. When it is, what do you plan on doing then?
I don't know. I've never thought about it before.
Almeidrea's death doesn't have to be your end too. You need a reason to live, Rinwell, not an excuse to die. Understand?
She's right. We could never truly know the pain that Almeidrea has caused you. But I think you should listen to Shion. Give yourself time to consider things. And if it's too much right now, it's okay for you to sit this one out.
No. My head might be a mess right now, but I'm not letting you fight Almeidrea without me. I need to be there, please. That much I do know. I'm going with you. And on the road, I'll think about it. A reason to live, without hate.
That said, it'll be no good chasing after her blind with no idea where she went. Bayfon, do you have any ideas where she might have gone?
I can't say for sure, but west of here is an underground harbor along a cliff near the coast. She spent years building a ship there, a floating fortress that she called her castle on the sea. No one quite knew why she wanted the thing. But now...
Of course. She's already effectively destroyed her own capital. It's likely she planned to abandon her realm as well.
Right. That's as good a lead as any. Let's go. What's that woman going to do next?
Nothing good, I'll bet.
We'll stop it this time.
I still can't believe what that Almeidrea did. Not only that, but she was enjoying it.
It's patently clear she has no respect for human life whatsoever.
We need to take her out. I don't think I've ever felt so enraged at another person in my whole life.
Yeah! There's no way she's getting away with this!
Then we head for the underground docks. We need to hurry. Rinwell, can you keep moving?
Yeah. My family and I, we spent all of our days just living in hiding. Until one day when we were found and attacked. I was the only one my dad and the others hid. That's the reason I survived. While the rest of my family was butchered. The only thing that I could see was the crest of a lord glowing through the smoke. And then...
It was Almeidrea who did it. I'm sorry, Rinwell.
That woman. Did she really find the existence of Danon mages to be that much of a threat?
Enough to invade another lord's territory? No, I doubt that. Most likely, she was after their knowledge and techniques. She only did it so she could become stronger. That's the kind of woman she is.
In retrospect, I do remember her making it sound like she created that monster she summoned.
A monster. I wonder, do you all think of me as a monster? Because I'm able to use magic even though I'm Danon?
Rinwell.
Of course we don't think you're a monster, you dummy.
Huh?
I might have had to hold you back, but it's her fault any of this ever happened, not yours. Got it?
Law.
Looks like we made it here in one piece. I hope we manage to catch Almeidrea soon.
I hope so too, before she can cause any more havoc.
You okay, Rinwell?
Oh, yeah.
Don't push yourself.
Easy peasy. I knew I could.
I swear.
And who made?
No one. I'm just.
Did you really just say that? Try thinking before you talk.
Huh? What do you mean? All I'm saying is I'm just a little worried about you, okay?
Well, don't be. I can have ice cream whenever I want.
You say that, but you know what's gonna happen if you keep eating ice cream all the time.
It's none of your business what I eat or how often.
Arguing over the consumption of a frozen dairy product. Ah, to be young.
Naive might be more accurate.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see dens. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almeidrea. You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set and we'll set sail. This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
Said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all, but still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently, if there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegis.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegis. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Renna really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
You don't look so good. Are you all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us, but nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. it'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodia's Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadheim. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cislodia, the lush green glades of Menancia, the harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Xion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renaissance, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mahavar.
Look who's up! Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Shion, I want to thank you.
What brought this up?
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahagsar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almeidrea plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah, you're right.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsef when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought I was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own, yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Danon in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.